Welcome to Keep Moving Forward, the Success Formula podcast. I'm your host, Gordon Dez. In each episode, we dive deep into the mindset, the struggles, and the breakthroughs that shape a meaningful life. I'll be sharing the raw, unfiltered stories of my own journey, from my new inspirational memoir, and sitting down with special guests from my past and current life, and ones who've also faced their own turning points. This isn't just about success by theory. It's about building a life of purpose, resilience, and relentless forward motion. Because no matter where you are, no matter what you're facing, the formula is simple. Keep learning, keep growing, keep moving forward. Let's get into it. Hey, welcome to another episode. This is episode number 4, and I'm really excited to bring the guest to you today. This is Lori Price we have on board. We don't have video for her, but she is joining us, and we're going to talk about our connection. Lori, how are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. Thanks for joining us today. Really appreciate that. Have you got a copy of my book?
Yes, I do.
How far into it are you?
You know, when I'm so far behind, I'm like first. I haven't even opened it.
Okay, all right, no worries. I'm glad you have it. You're going to read in there a whole bunch of stories. So for those people that don't know, who don't have the book, there was a boy that I went to school with in early elementary, so at Langley Central Elementary. I can't remember exactly when I met him. His name was Greg Esau, and you have been together with Greg now for 6 years, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. And one funny story I say in the book about Greg. So we used to live in these townhouses. He was right next door to me. And I went over there one day to play $6 Million Man. So that was the TV show back then. Us old people will remember it, but younger people won't. The $6 Million Man, whenever he got into his bionics, everything was slow motion, but he was doing it fast. And so we'd pretend to hit each other with slow motion punches and stuff. He pretended to hit me with a slow motion punch, and I fell backwards slowly, and the curtains behind us were covering the sliding glass patio door. And I thought the door was closed. Little did I know it was open, and I went tumbling down his concrete steps in his backyard and gashed my eyebrow and was bleeding. My mom rushed me to the hospital. Luckily, didn't need stitches, just a butterfly bandage, I guess. But still to this day, you can't really see because I got my hat on, but still to this day, I got a scar on my left eyebrow because of that. So he is forever etched in my memory. Every time I look in the mirror, that guy, it was all fun. But you and I, we met in HD Stafford, I believe. Where did you go to elementary school?
Uplands.
Where's that?
It's up to 8th, just about at the top of the hill, just one street over.
Oh, I see. Okay, cool. And then you went to HD Stafford and then LSS with me as well, right?
Yeah.
So my memory of you in HD Stafford, I sort of want to get your take on what school was like for you back then. But my recollection of you is that you never seemed down. Every time I saw you, you had a smile on your face. You were always happy. You're always upbeat. And maybe I just saw you at your good times. I'm not sure, but that's my impression of you. You're never saw you in a bad mood.
Lucky.
Was I just lucky?
Yeah, you were just lucky.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. What was school like for you back in HD Stafford?
It was okay. Like, you know, you had your different groups of people, but I met a whole bunch of new people at HD Stafford because, of course, that was all the elementary schools in the area got combined into one. But it was okay. It was just, I didn't really get hassled or anything.
Right.
Just kind of doing my own thing. Had a few friends.
And you were part of the band group too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I played alto sax. Did you play alto sax as well?
I did. I sat next to you for 5 years.
That's right. That's right. Of course. Yeah. So we have a really long connection, and it's just, I don't know. I was at the bottom of the barrel. I don't know if you've seen any of my YouTube videos that I've done on my YouTube channel. Yeah, at Chef Des. If listeners, if you haven't gone to my YouTube channel yet, check it out. There's Keep Moving Forward on location videos, and I talk about the torment that I went through. Yeah, school was rough for me. I hated it. I hated going every single day. You know, and you do your best. You try and put on a good face for the day, and what else can you do? You can't just stay home every day. You just have to make it work. And back then, you just had to be tough and tough it out. So yeah, it's not fun for me anyway. But yeah, it was cool to go on the band trips and stuff like that. Did you continue with the alto sax after HD Stafford, or did you drop it at some point?
No, I was finished at grade 12.
Okay. And do you still play today at all? No?
No. I sold it
No.
years and years and years ago, but you
Yeah.
always covered for me when I didn't practice, and so that was cool. I don't even remember who else played alto sax. I think there was one more person, but I just remember
Yeah,
you.
and I think it was Dave, I can't remember his last name, Duckworth or something, that played the
Tenor.
tenor. I always felt a little bit, I don't know what the right word is for it, but a little bit jealous, I guess, because his saxophone just looks so much grander and bigger than our little tiny ones, right? Had better sound, I thought, too. If you look at anybody in the music videos and stuff, there was a lot more saxophone in rock music back then in the 80s and stuff than there is
Yeah.
now. And it was always a tenor sax. It was rarely an alto sax. And it was like, I should have chose that instead. But anyway, c'est la vie. It's all good. Yeah, I didn't continue past grade 10, I don't think. I can't remember. I talk about that in my book as well. And I really wish I would have chosen something cooler than that, like guitar or piano or something. But hey, again, it is what it is, and you can't really change what happened in school, all the bad times and stuff as well. But there's good memories too. I like having different guests on from my past and current life. You know what? Everybody has an experience in life, and everybody's been through stuff. You know, I sort of fantasize about that if I'm driving and I see people in their cars. You think, that person right there, they look interesting. I wonder what their upbringing is like, because chances are it's totally different than what your upbringing was, no matter
Mhm.
what race, religion, male, female, doesn't matter. Everybody has experiences. And I think this podcast is a great platform to share and really help people grow and help people sort of see a light. It's everybody goes through things and get some advice from people to help, lead a better life. So I want you to share with our listeners a time that you faced adversity and how you overcame that.
Okay. Well, one of my experiences with adversity began when I lost one of my older sisters, Dawn, to
Okay.
the cancer in 2021.
Oh,
Put
I'm
a
sorry to
hole in
hear
my
that.
heart, but after a while, I started to heal. But then 3 months after Dawn, my ex-husband Lonnie passed away suddenly. We were married for 20 years, but currently we were separated.
Right.
So he called me for help. I ran over to the house, called 911, did CPR until the paramedics came. He'd had an aneurysm, which burst,
Wow.
sending adrenaline down the brainstem, causing a heart attack.
Oh, I'm so
So,
sorry.
yeah, it sucked. He was on life support until I could get everybody to the hospital to say their goodbyes. But he was my
Wow.
go-to person. Like
Yeah.
he was my person and I was his. We were like best buds.
You guys had a good relationship afterwards then? Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I
Yeah.
don't hate anybody. So, but yeah, our situation wasn't typical. It was a bit complex, but we talked and hung out almost every day.
Wow.
I only lived like 3 minutes from their house. Well, my old house, I guess.
Right, right,
But we both had other relationships, but our common bond was the kids. So we did things as a family.
right.
But the night before it happened, Lonnie made his famous meatloaf and we had a family dinner. So I'm really thankful for that.
Wow. Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, Lonnie's death, it significantly impaired and my depression got worse. I had anxiety and was constantly sad.
Oh, I can't imagine.
Yeah, when Lonnie and I got together, we bought a house, and that's where our blended family grew up. My youngest has never lived anywhere else except for where we are now.
Right,
After Lonnie died in the house, well, he didn't actually die in the house, he died at the hospital. But
right.
the house just didn't have the same energy. Although everywhere you look, there was a memory or two. So about a year and a half after, I sold the house as a teardown, and my son and I bought a house together with 2 suites. I was still struggling with Lonnie's death, and I was struggling with selling the house because it was in the family for so long, but I didn't want another family to live in it. So I sold to a contractor that was going to tear it down.
Right.
So,
Okay.
but I was lonely living by myself, and my son needed help when he was away for work. He works for CN and he has
Okay.
dogs. So they need to take care of when he's gone.
Right, right.
But I plugged along for about 2 years after Lonnie died, just going through the motions and stuff. I was sad and misplaced, didn't really have any meaning. But just doing the bare minimum. But in
Wow.
July 2024, for lack of a better term, I lost my mind. It was a work thing, and they were going to load me up with extra stuff. And I was operating on like 3 hours of sleep a night, and I just lost my mind.
Wow.
And we just moved into our house, but I wasn't feeling especially safe or comfortable.
Okay.
And then of course I'd had some more deaths along the way in a couple of years. But so over that time, I just kind of I went to counseling for like a year from 2024 to now. And my doctor changed my antidepressants. She changed them 3 times, and they finally got a good combination from an external doctor.
Okay.
And almost immediately, I felt way better.
Wow.
But I used the community mental health support when I needed it. So,
Right. Right.
but I'm still struggling with that. I've been off work for over a year, but I'm still trying to move forward with my life, and it's starting to feel balanced, and I have more motivation, and I'm finally feeling safe and comfortable in our house. I
That's
still have a
good.
lot of work to do,
Right.
but
Right.
I'm 100 times better.
You said that you guys had a shared family or a blended family.
Yeah.
And how many kids do you guys have together?
3.
And what were their ages? What were their ages when you passed?
Okay. I think Steph was 29.
Okay.
And Sam would have been 26, and Chris was 21.
Wow.
So yeah, I felt bad for Chris. He actually lived with Lonnie.
Right. That's a tough go for, you think, well, at least they're adults, some people could say, but yeah, true, but it's still a tough go. They're still at the beginning of their adulthood, right, in their 20s. And that's a tough go, right?
They each had a different relationship with them. And, like Lonnie and Chris, they did a lot of stuff together because they lived in the same house.
Right.
Sam and Lonnie were extremely close. She's my stepdaughter.
Right.
And then Stephanie, she would go and hang out just with Lonnie, like, instead of like friends or whatever, she'd just go over to Lonnie's house. Sometimes it was for supper. She wanted them to cook, but they had a really good rapport.
So obviously, I'm getting the vibes that he was a great cook, because you talk about his meatloaf and they like to cook together and stuff like that.
I don't care to cook, so if he invited me for dinner, he'd cook and I'd clean up the dishes.
Oh, nice. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that worked out great.
Yeah, and I get to see the kids lots too. So
right.
It was kind of our go-to place for everybody. Like, we just all met at the house.
Right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that I can't even imagine having to go through that. So my heart goes out to you, Lori.
Thanks.
Yeah, you bet. What do you think your purpose in life is? I get sort of deep in thought sometimes about, we're all here for a reason. I think there's more than we're just here just to live a life and that's it. And it could be many different things. But what do you think your specific purpose in life is?
I've struggled with that until just recently. I asked my oldest daughter, and she said, my purpose in life is to help people. Like, I advocate for people that can't advocate for themselves, and like the disability tax credit.
Okay.
People want to apply for it, but they think it's hard. So they go to those companies and they charge them thousands of dollars.
Really?
I do it for free.
Wow.
Because you'll only fill out your name, address, and your date of birth, basically, and the doctor does the rest. But anybody that wants help with it, I put on a post every year or so on Facebook, and I get people that I don't even know.
Wow, that is so kind of you. So these companies charge people thousands of dollars?
My son-in-law, he got $25,000 and they took $5,000.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Unreal. Crazy.
Yeah, I know, it's insane. And it makes me angry when I see them advertised, because it's like, wow, really? It's like, it's so simple to fill out. And I just email the form to whoever and they fill it out, and then they get their doctor to fill it out. And if they need help narrating what's wrong with them, then I can help them with that as well.
So how did you find out about this, and how did you figure out that it's so easy to do?
Oh, I have it myself.
Okay.
Because I had an injury when I was in the military, so I got the disability tax credit for that.
Okay.
Plus my Alzheimer's, and I had to fill out his. And I just happened to come across it because the government doesn't tell you when they have a benefit for you.
I think that's really important. I'm sort of glad you told that story, because this is something that we can share with people as well, that, everyone is good at something, right? And people are, more than likely good at many things. And you can take whatever you're good at, you can turn that around and help somebody with that. Because we sometimes just get locked in our shell thinking that everybody knows everything that we know and I've got nothing to share and stuff like that. And that's not the case. And this is a really good example of that. So listeners, I want you to really think about what you know and what you think that you could share with people to really accentuate, is that the right words? Accentuate your purpose in life, or really amplify your purpose in life, and maybe even discover what your purpose in life is through that. But yeah, that's great. I love that. If you could offer a piece of advice to my listeners of how to be resilient, how to not let things bother you so much? I mean, you're a perfect person to ask that, because you've been through a lot recently, for sure. How would you tell somebody to be resilient?
Just stay focused on what's important and don't borrow problems.
Don't elaborate on that.
Yeah.
Don't borrow problems.
Lonnie's uncle told me that. He said, don't borrow problems before they come. Like I was having a bathroom renovation at the time,
Okay.
and I was upset because I was not in my right mind. And I was just, I just had like, well, what if this happens? What if this happens? He goes, don't borrow problems. Just take what it comes and then deal with it as it comes up.
Right. I love that. I never heard
Yeah.
it said that way. Don't borrow problems. That's cool. Yeah, so
It
true.
made sense.
Yeah, absolutely. People tend to worry about things, and worry is just imagination, because the only thing that matters is right here and now. That's the only thing
Exactly.
that's even in reality, is this moment right now. One of the books that I read years ago was Eckhart Tolle. I'm not sure exactly how you pronounce his last name, but he came out with a book many, many, many years ago called The Power of Now. Have you read any of his writings?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, so that book, Power of Now, was his first book. And it's really deep, and you really have to read and reread paragraphs to try and grasp what he's getting at. And I thought I got it when I read it the first time, but I didn't. And then he came out with his second book called, I believe it's A New Earth, Awakening in a New Earth, something like that. You can look it up on Amazon. And that one there's actually a podcast that he does with Oprah, and they go through every single chapter of the book. And he explains every single chapter. She asks him questions. Well, what about that? What do you mean by that? And he explains it. So he goes farther in depth, really simple terms, right? And then after that, like, I was so like just blown away by his definition of and his point that he's trying to get across. I went back and read The Power of Now afterwards, and it all sank in. And it's like, I get it now. I get it. I mean, if I could sum it up in a sentence, I already have. It's this moment is the only thing that matters, but it goes into more than, and it goes into, how you can prevent in the future you getting mad at something or blowing this thing up bigger than it should be, or like you say, borrowing problems, right? Yeah. So it's a great read, and I really do recommend that read to you, Lori, if you want to get into something like that. But for anybody, even my listeners here today, if you're going to start with anything with Eckhart Tolle, get his New Earth book first and search up that podcast. Just on your podcast platform, search for Oprah and Eckhart Tolle. So last name is Tolle. Yeah, start with that, and you just be blown away. It's unbelievable what he talks about. He's very mild-mannered too. If you watch any of his YouTube videos, like, he's just so calm and so quiet. And some people would call him boring too. But if you just really like listen to his words, recently I've just found a lot of wealth in what he has to say, and it's really changed my life. And just celebrating the here and now, and I'm thankful for so much of my life, and I don't get upset about the little things anymore. I used to be, I don't know, I just got upset too many times about little things and just so worked up. And you don't need to be. Just, hey, sit back and live life. And that's the way I have always seen you, is just, I don't know, happy-go-lucky and living life. You made a good impression on me. Absolutely.
Well, thanks.
Times have really changed, I think for the better. Talking to my kids now, I have 4 kids. My oldest is 34 and my youngest is 16. And to talk to my kids about, living in the 70s and the 80s and stuff, I just think it was the best time in the world back then. And yeah, things were different, and no cell phones, no internet. Technology really changed everything. But what a time to be alive, even though I went through a lot of crap. But what a time to be alive and on this earth, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Those are great days.
Yeah, absolutely. Never will they be the same again. They never will. Lori, I want to thank you so much. This brings an end to our podcast episode. I just want to take a moment to say a heartfelt thank you to you, Lori, for joining us today. Your insight, your story, and your energy have truly been inspiring. It's conversations like this that really remind us that, why we do what we do, and to connect, to grow, and to light the way for others. So thank you again for sharing your time with me. I really appreciate that, Lori.
Well, thank you for having me.
Hey, you bet, anytime. And to everyone tuning in, hey, thank you for being a part of this journey. If today's episode moved you, inspired you, or even just made you think a little bit deeper, don't forget to subscribe, share, and leave a review. Goodbye for now. Thanks so much.
And that's a wrap for this episode of Keep Moving Forward, the Success Formula podcast. If today's conversation moved you, imagine what over 480 pages of truth, resilience, and real-life strategies could do. My brand new memoir, Keep Moving Forward, the Success Formula, is part story, part survival guide, and it's written for you. Grab your copy today on Amazon or wherever you buy your books, and let's keep walking this journey together. I'm Gordon Des. Thanks for listening. Thanks for believing. And as always, keep moving forward. See you on the next episode.